switch gears for a moment, and I am going to ask you a question that has nothing to do with social emotional development initially. My question to you is, if you had a child in your classroom who was struggling with learning how to read, what would you do? So let's take a moment to think about that. So if a child was having a difficult time just on being able to identify, let's say, even the letters of his own name, or having a difficult time with decoding, what would you do? Would you put a child in timeout? Would you punish him? Would you give him sad face stickers? Would you tell him to leave the group and to think about his inability to read? Now, I will tell you that if you answered yes to any of those, I strongly urge that you rethink your profession, because none of those are an acceptable way to help a child see himself as a part of a literate community and to see himself as a competent learner. And when we look at the whole child approach, and we're really taking a look at how each of these areas of development for a child is significant in those foundational skills I keep talking about, reading and writing and all of that ELA we call language and literacy, right, is foundational, right? And so we work very hard at helping children develop those skills, because they're going to get more and more as they get older. And they're going to have to utilize these skills in more sophisticated ways as they get older. But we would support that process, wouldn't we? Or at least we should. But in the area of social and emotional development, because that's another facet of the whole child, we approach children who have a difficult time with regulating their behavior, who have a difficult time articulating their needs, who have a difficult time working effectively with others. We approach that in these punitive ways. And when we approach them with punitive approaches, we are actually doing more harm than good in supporting those foundational skills that will continue, just like reading and writing. They're going to continue to become more complex, particularly when you think about what happens around middle school. Those experiences around social and emotional development, the sense of self, and be able to engage with others in ways that are effective and responsive and respectful. All of those really come into play as the child starts to really shift from early childhood into those middle school and into high school years. And so it's important for us to recognize that if we want children to develop these skills and resiliency skills, we have to approach them from a loving, responsive way as opposed to a punitive way.